In this video, I will show you how to track conversions with Microsoft Bing Ads and Google Tag Manager. Hey, my name is Julius and welcome to Analytics Mania YouTube channel. If you're new here, I teach people how to work with Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. So if you want to stay up to date with GTM, consider subscribing. If you're running ads on Microsoft Bing, you must implement conversion tracking. By doing so, you will collect additional data that will allow you to measure which ads, keywords, demographics, and other things are performing better and which ones should be removed from your marketing campaigns. And the good thing is that one of the ways how you can implement this is with Google Tag Manager. So let's take a look. How can you do that? In this video, I presume that you have already created a Bing Ads account, so I will not be showing those steps. And when it comes to the tracking, we have to install the Microsoft UET tag. UET stands for Universal Event Tracking. So to get started, first you have to click on the tools in the top right corner. If you're watching this tutorial further in the future and maybe the interface that you see in my video is different from the one that you see in your browser window, then don't worry and try to use the search feature in Bing Ads interface. So here you can enter UET and then you will find something like this. But now let's click on tools and then we will go to the UET tag. Click it. And since I am working with a fresh new account, I have no UET tags yet. Therefore, I will have to click create UET tag. And here I have to enter the name of the tag. I will enter something like demo UET tag, but in your case, you could enter the name of your business or maybe your website in this case. That would make more sense. Then click save. And here you will get a tracking code that should be added to all pages of your website. But since this tutorial will be using Google Tag Manager, the only thing that we will need is this ID right here. If you are completely new to Google Tag Manager, then I will post a link to a mini course below the video where you can get up and running with Google Tag Manager in about 1 hour. Now let's go to Google Tag Manager and install this tracking code. In the GTM interface, click Tags, then New, Tag Configuration, and then keep looking for the Microsoft tag. There are many tags here, so the fastest way would be to use the search and enter Microsoft. And here is the tag template that we are going to use. If you have tried to follow some older tutorials that teach you how to install Bing Ads, you probably try to enter the word Bing right here. But recently, the tag template name was changed from Bing Ads to Microsoft Advertising Universal Event Tracking. So click it right here. And here we have to paste that ID that we got right here. So now I will double click it, copy it, and then I will paste it right here. So this tag will send the page view to Bing Ads when it is fired. That's why we have to configure it to fire on every page view. In the triggering section, click anywhere and then select all pages. Normally, as more and more privacy regulations spread across the globe, you would need to fire this tag only when a visitor gives consent for tracking. To keep this video shorter, I will be firing it on all pages, regardless the consent. But if you're working with a project that has a lot of traffic, for example, from the European Union, you need to respect the consent as well. So if you want to learn more how to make your Google Tag Manager setup GDPR compliant or compliant with some other privacy regulations, you can take a look at my Google Tag Manager course for beginners. And I will post a link to that course below the video. Anyway, now let's name this tag. So it can be something like Bing Ads or maybe Microsoft UET page view, and then save it. Now the time has come to test this, and you can do that by clicking the preview button in the top right corner of Google Tag Manager interface. Click it, then enter the URL of the website where you want to install Bing Ads UET tag, click connect. And here you should see that the preview mode has connected, and you should also see that on the container loaded event, which is the equivalent to the all pages trigger. So when you configure a tag to fire on all pages, it will fire on the container loaded event in the preview mode. And we can see that our Microsoft UET page view tag has fired. But that is not all. We also need to check if the request was sent properly to Bing Ads, and that can be done with a Chrome extension, which is called UET Tag Helper. I will post a link to this extension below the video. And once you click that link, you will see something like add to Chrome. And since I already have installed it, I see remove from Chrome. Anyway, so once you have the UET Tag Helper installed in your browser, then you should go to the page where you have activated your UET tag. And then you should keep looking for that extension right here. So I see it right here, which is UET Tag Helper. I click it. And then I need to click on. So now this extension is turned on and it will be listening to all the requests that are sent to Bing Ads. And again, let's refresh the page
of the website. And now I will click the UET tag helper once again. By the way, now I see the number 1. So this means that there was one request sent to Bing Ads. Click the tag, and here you will see the event, which is page load event. And this is good because our tag is sending the page view event. Page view and page load are the same thing. And here, if you click this parameter details triangle, you will see more details in a table format. What is the page title, page URL, and all the other stuff. So this looks okay because we also see the green check mark right here. Also, if you go back to the interface of Bing Ads and you're still in the UET tag section, you will see that your UET tag is still unverified. But don't worry because it takes up to 24 hours for this status to change to verified. And you can read more about this by hovering your mouse right here and read this explanation. And once you made sure that your setup is working properly, you can now publish these changes. And once this goes live, then your Microsoft UET tag will be tracking all the website visitors that come from the Microsoft ads. Anyway, so click submit right here in the top right corner to publish these changes. And then this is a very good practice to enter some descriptive version name, because in the future, when you have a lot of versions of the container in Google Tag Manager, you will easily find a version of when you publish the Bing UET tag. So we can add something like Microsoft UET tag page view was added, and then click publish. Once you see the version summary, it means that your UET tag is now live and it is activated for all the website visitors of your website. Now the next step, which is conversions. If you have some important interactions on a website that you want your visitors to complete, those interactions could be treated as conversions. So for example, if someone signs up for a newsletter and then is redirected to a thank you page, you could basically create a conversion that tracks all the visits to that particular thank you page. And in many cases, that actually might be enough. But in some cases, maybe, a form is submitted and only a thank you message is displayed and the URL doesn't change. That way, you should track the events and send them as conversions to Bing Ads as well. So in this video, I will show you both options. The first one is the simple one, and it works if the URL of the page on, let's say, the thank you page or the order confirmation page is unique enough so that you could distinguish that the conversion was completed. And to create your first conversion, you should go to Tools and then scroll down, and in the conversion tracking section, you should click Conversion Goals. To create a new conversion goal, you should click this button right here. Also, if you don't want to see this explanation, you can collapse it by clicking right here. Now let me click this button. And here I will enter, let's say, form thank you page. Obviously, this is not a very good job and not very descriptive description, but this is just a demonstration. In your case, you should enter something more meaningful. For example, contact form submission or webinar form submission or something like that. And let's say that I have a form, and after I submit that form, the URL of the thank you page is unique enough and it says thank you. So let's say that when a visitor visits a page of which URL contains /pages/thank you, then this will be a conversion goal for me. So I will copy this part and then I will make sure that the destination URL is selected as the type of the conversion goal. Then I will click next. And then I need to enter some additional details about what exact URL am I interested in. So in that case, I will enter, let's say, contains, and then the web page URL that is like this. And then I can enter the goal category. In this case, might be subscribe if that thank you page is related to the newsletter subscription, or maybe that is just a lead form. Let's say that in this case, the goal category will be subscribe, because on the previous page, there was only one field where I could enter email and then I had to subscribe. So I will keep it like this. Then I want this conversion to be available only in my current Bing Ads accounts. So I will keep the scope as it is. Then the revenue value. So first, we will not be assigning any values, and later I will show you how to add some additional values if you want to go a bit more advanced. So click Don't Assign Value. And here you can count either all conversions, for example, if several conversions happen on the same session, or if you want to track only unique. So for example, if the same visitor subscribes 3 times in the same session, you will track only one conversion. So in this case, I will go with unique. Then you have an option to include this conversion in the conversions column of your reports. So what do I mean by saying this is that if you go to campaigns of your Bing Ads, and let's say you take a look right here, you will see that there's one column which is conversions. So would you like to see those conversions that we are configuring right here? So do you want to see them in this column? If yes, then you should keep this checkbox enabled and then click Save. And that's it. You have created your first conversion. And that one was a pretty simple one, because if a visitor lands from this ad to your website and then goes to that thank you page, I cannot find it right now, but it was some, oh, it is right here. So if the visitor lands from the ad on your website, then submits the email and then is redirected to a page where the URL contains /pages/thank you, then that conversion will be counted and will be visible in this column right here. Then let's take a look at another example of how can we track events. And in this case, we're going to track purchases. So here I have a sample website. Let's say that after I click this purchase link, then I will actually purchase this product. So I'll click it. And here I am on a thank you page. By the way, I have already enabled the preview mode of the Google Tag Manager on this page. And if I go to the preview mode, I will see that one of the events available in the preview mode is purchase. Now, this is a result of custom development. I asked a developer to push the data to the data layer about the transaction. Like what is the order total, what kind of products were purchased, and all the other things that I found useful. If you want to learn more about the data layer and how to use it, I will post a link to another tutorial below this video, because understanding data layer is one of the key things in order to master Google Tag Manager. Anyway, let's go back to the preview mode. And if I click the purchase and expand this row right here by clicking this icon, I will see that I have things like currency, order value, then the coupon code, what kind of product was purchased, and a bunch of other stuff. So the cool thing right here is that we could take some of this information and send it to Bing Ads. And later we could see that in the reports of our ads. If you are completely new to the data layer, I once again recommend checking the data layer tutorial first in order to understand what I'm doing right here. But in a nutshell, here's what we're going to do. I will need to create separate variables for each parameters that I want to access and use in my Bing Ads tracking. All right, so let's say that I want to use the currency and the value, and I will send these values to Bing Ads. To do that, we will have to create two data layer variables. Let's create the first one for the currency. Go to Google Tag Manager, variables, then new, variable configuration, data layer variable, and here we have to enter the data layer variable name. And you might be tempted to enter just the currency, but in this case, our data structure is more complex. We have e-commerce, and within that e-commerce, we have purchase, and within that purchase, we have currency. Because as you can see, they're not stacked evenly right here. We see them as kind of like folders. We have e-commerce, then a bit to the right, there is a purchase that is pushed. And then if we go deeper, we see the currency right here. So in order to access the currency, we have to enter e-commerce dash purchase dash currency. So e-commerce dash purchase dash currency. Then let's name the variable. DLV here stands for data layer variable, but if you don't want to add this, you don't have to. What's important is that this is the correct value, entered exactly like this, and no typos, no uppercase letters or something else, exactly as it is in the data layer. Click Save. And then let's do the same thing for the value. So it will be e-commerce.purchase.value. So I will create a new variable, which is also data layer variable. And here I will enter the correct name. Then let's name the variable and save it. And after that, we should click the preview button to test whether the variables work properly. So click preview. Here I am on a thank you page. And now I go back to the preview mode, click purchase, and then click the variables tab right here. Now I will need to check whether my data layer variables return certain values, and they are correct. We have euros and we have 340. So now let's create a tag that will send this data together with the conversion to Bing Ads. So go to Google Tag Manager, tags, new, tag configuration, then enter in the search Microsoft and select this tag. Now we have to enter once again our UET tag ID, and you can find it by going to tools, then UET tag, and then copying this tag ID. In fact, if you plan to add more Microsoft advertising tags like this one, then it would make sense to create a constant variable that will contain the tag ID, and you will be reusing that same variable in all of your Microsoft advertising tags. So instead of just pasting it like this, instead we will click this button, click plus to create a new variable, and then in the variable configuration section, select constant. And here we will paste that ID. Now we can enter something like UET tag ID and then paste the ID and click save. And now this tag will be using this UET tag ID, and the next time we create another tag, we won't need to go back here and copy the tag ID. Instead, we can just insert the existing constant variable. Then in the track type, you could select vertical and e-commerce, but that one makes things more complex and this goes out of scope of this video. So instead we can use custom conversion, and then we can enter here something like purchase. Event category can also be purchase, and you can enter purchase as well in the event label. I don't remember if the event label is required here or not, but let's just enter it like this. Then event value. So what we could do is that with this event, we could also send the value of this variable, which is e-commerce.purchase.value. So we can do that by clicking this button right here, and then keep looking for that DLV e-commerce purchase value. So every time this tag fires, Google Tag Manager will take the value of this variable and will send it to Bing Ads. The same can be done with the currency. So if your business is operating in multiple currencies, then it can make sense to remove that USD and instead insert a dynamic variable that returns the currency code. But if you're operating in one currency, for example, only in US dollars, then it is fine to keep things like that. And I just realized that I inserted the value in the wrong field. So instead of event value, we should have entered the data layer variable in the revenue value field, because right now we are sending the actual revenue. When the purchase occurs, we want to send that price, that order total, to Bing Ads. So event value can remain empty. So that's it for the tag configuration. Now the triggering. We want to fire this trigger when the purchase occurs in the preview mode of Google Tag Manager, or actually on the website. So to do that, we have to create a trigger that will fire when the event is purchase. And that can be done with a trigger type called custom event. Go to Google Tag Manager and then click anywhere on the triggering section or on this pencil icon, and then click plus icon to create a new trigger. Now click anywhere on the trigger configuration and select a trigger type, which is custom event. Now we have to enter the exact event name, which is in my case purchase, and this is the exact name that is displayed right here. If you have another event name, for example, transaction or order complete or something else, then you have to enter that value in this field. And now let's name the trigger and save it. Also, one more thing that is important: if your Bing event tag fires before your regular UET page view tag fires, here's one thing that you need to do, because that thing is even mentioned in the tag settings as well. For example, if you click anywhere on the tag and then click on the background, you will see a notification that says that we recommend only customizing on the page view event and ensuring that it triggers first before any other events. So in other words, we have to make sure that our page view Bing tag fires first before this purchase tag. And that can be done with a thing called tag sequencing. So click anywhere on the tag configuration of the purchase tag, then click advanced settings, and then click tag sequencing. And here you need to select that you want to fire a tag before this purchase tag fires. So click here and then select your Microsoft UET page view tag. Now the final step is to name this tag, which can be Microsoft UET, and let's say purchase. Click save. Then you should also go to the UET page view tag and set it to fire once per page. And that can be done by going to advanced settings and setting the tag to fire only once per page. Click save. All right, so that was quite intense. And now let's test whether everything is working properly. So I will click the preview button. Now I am on the product page, and also I have to make sure that my Bing UET tag helper is also enabled. So I have to click it and then click on right here. Now let's make a purchase. And here I will see that my order confirmation page has appeared. Here I can click on the purchase, and I see that on my purchase, my page view tag fired, my purchase tag fired, and on the container loaded, the page view tag did not fire because it has already fired once per page on the purchase. And then let's go back to the thank you page, click on the Bing UET tag helper, and here you will see that there are two interactions sent to Bing Ads. We have page load event and we have custom event, of which event label is purchase, currency is euros, and value is 340. There are no issues displayed right here, so it looks like everything is working properly. And then if you want to see that revenue data in your Bing Ads reports, you can go back to the Bing Ads interface, then go to campaigns, and then you will see that out of the box, there is no revenue or value or whatever column right here. So if you want to modify it, you can add some additional columns, and you can do that by clicking on the columns right here. And then you can click modify columns, then select conversions, and then you will find all conversion revenue. So click add, click apply, and then you will see the revenue right here. Oh, and one more thing that I obviously forgot to do is that even though we are sending the event to Microsoft Ads, we still have to configure a conversion goal in the interface of Bing Ads. So let's go back there, click tools, then in the conversion tracking, click conversion goals, and then you have to create a new conversion goal of which type is event. And here we can enter, let's say, purchase, click next, and then we can enter all the values that we have sent with the tag. And in our case, all of the values were just the word purchase right here. And then goal category can be purchase. So whenever an event is sent to Bing Ads and the event category, action, and label are equal to purchase, then we will send a goal, which is purchase. Then let's leave the scope as it is. And when it comes to the revenue value, we have to select this part. By having this setting enabled, Bing Ads will take that dynamic value that we have sent with this revenue value field right here. But if for some reason you don't send the value because maybe that value is not available in the data layer, you still have to enter some default lowest revenue that you can have. So for example, if the lowest price point of your product is, let's say, 10 euros, then you should enter 10 right here. And then this is up to you whether you want to include all conversions or just the unique ones. In case of purchases, I would like to track all the purchases. So for example, if during the same session, the same user does 2 purchases, I would like to include all of them. And then you can leave all the other settings as they are, unless you specifically want to change them, and then click save. So after this, your conversion tracking is completed and you have configured the purchase tracking with Bing Ads. As I've said, there are some other alternatives, but they go way more advanced and they go out of scope of this video.
And that is how you can track conversions with Microsoft UET tag and Google Tag Manager. Don't forget to use the Microsoft UET tag helper if you're working with Google Chrome. It is a fast way to verify whether the data is sent properly. When it comes to seeing the data in Bing Ads interface, you will need some patience because those reports are not real-time. If you found this video useful, hit the thumbs up button below the video because it helps me continue working on this channel. Also, if you want to learn more about Google Tag Manager or GA4, consider subscribing to this channel. My name is Julius, this is Analytics Mania, and I'll see you in the next video.